Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Susan B. Anthony dollar. We'll be exploring the 5 most expensive and valuable examples of this short-lived coin series, uncovering their history, unique features, and why collectors are willing to pay big money for them. If you're into rare finds and hidden treasures in U.S. coinage, you won't want to miss this. First up, we're diving deep in the most rare and valuable, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar with the Philadelphia P mint mark stands out as one of the most fascinating pieces in modern U.S. numismatics. While millions were minted, certain varieties and conditions make this dollar coin extremely valuable today. Collectors are drawn not only to its connection with a pivotal moment in American coinage history, but also to the rarity of high-grade or unique examples that can command impressive sums on the market. Even in a very dirty or circulated condition, its historical appeal and potential hidden value keep interest alive. And for those who discover pristine or rare error varieties, the financial rewards can be significant. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 to replace the larger Eisenhower dollar, a move aimed at increasing convenience in daily commerce. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin was part of the first batch of small-sized dollars in U.S. history. It marked the first time a real historical woman was featured on circulating U.S. currency, honoring the suffragist Susan B. Anthony. Despite its bold symbolism, the coin faced a lukewarm reception from the public due to its similarity in size to the quarter, which caused frequent confusion in circulation. However, its historical significance remains powerful, and today the coin is viewed as a milestone in the evolution of U.S. currency and in honoring social reformers on national coinage. Design-wise, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar features a strong and dignified portrait of Anthony on the obverse, surrounded by the word Liberty, the date, and the mint mark P. The reverse continues the design from the Eisenhower dollar, showing the Apollo 11 mission insignia with an eagle landing on the moon, symbolizing America's achievements in space exploration. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad mixture, with a weight of 8.1 grams and a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, giving it a distinct heft despite its small size. The 11-sided inner border around Anthony's portrait further distinguishes it, creating a unique visual effect that separates it from other circulating coins. While the 1979 P dollar was widely minted, rarity arises from its varieties and condition. One of the most notable varieties is the wide rim or near-date version, where the rim is much broader than usual and the date appears closer to the edge. This variety was only struck in Philadelphia and is significantly scarcer than the standard narrow rim version. Collectors also place tremendous value on coins that remain in superb condition. Uncirculated examples graded MS67 or higher are rare and highly desirable. When found in dirty, circulated condition, the coin holds mostly historical value, but if cleaned and authenticated, it may reveal itself to be a rarer, more valuable variety. In terms of market value, circulated 1979 P dollars often trade for little more than face value unless they are the wide rim variety, which can fetch between $300 and $600 in circulated condition. In uncirculated grades, prices rise sharply. MS65 wide rim examples typically sell for $1,500 to $3,000, and top-graded pieces in MS67 have been known to reach well over $5,000 at auction. Proof like strikes and certain error coins, such as off-center strikes or double dies, can bring even more, sometimes into the thousands depending on rarity and demand. The steady appreciation of these varieties has made the 1979 P dollar one of the most sought-after modern U.S. coins. For collectors interested in acquiring this coin, careful inspection is crucial. Beginners often overlook the difference between the wide rim and narrow rim varieties, but this detail has a major impact on value. Submitting promising examples to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC not only confirms authenticity, but also maximizes potential resale value. Storing these coins in protective holders or slabs prevents further wear, especially for higher-grade specimens. Another factor that adds to the intrigue of the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is the way it bridges two important eras of American coinage: the large, hefty Eisenhower dollar of the early 1970s and the small golden Sacagawea dollar introduced in 2000. Collectors often see the Susan B. Anthony dollar as a short-lived experiment that paved the way for future designs, and this transitional quality enhances its desirability. The 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is more than just a coin. It represents a turning point in American numismatics and the advancement of representation on U.S. currency. While its public reception at the time was mixed, its significance as the first coin to feature a real woman and its connection to America's space triumphs give it enduring cultural weight. Rare varieties like the wide rim, combined with exceptional grades, have elevated its status in the numismatic community, turning what was once an everyday coin into a collector's prize. For enthusiasts, the coin offers a blend of history, artistry, and investment potential, making it a must-have in any serious collection. And secondly, we're going to explore the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar with the Philadelphia P. Mint mark is a fascinating piece of modern U.S. coinage that holds a unique place in numismatic history. While not the rarest coin in the series, its significance lies in its role as part of the first U.S. small dollar coin experiment, bridging the gap between the Eisenhower dollar and the later Sacagawea and presidential dollars. Collectors are drawn to this coin for its historical context, its distinctive design, and the fact that it represents a short-lived but important chapter in American currency. Even in very dirty condition, the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar can hold value, particularly if it exhibits strong details beneath the grime, as lower-grade examples still appeal to budget-conscious collectors or those looking to complete a full set of the series. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 as a replacement for the large and unpopular Eisenhower dollar, with the goal of creating a more practical circulating dollar coin. The 1980 P issue was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark that year, making it indistinguishable from other Philadelphia strikes unless in proof format. The coin honors Susan B. Anthony, a pivotal figure in the women's suffrage movement, and its release coincided with a period of growing recognition of women's contributions to American society. Despite its noble intent, the coin was widely criticized for its similarity in size and color to the quarter, leading to public confusion and poor circulation. This lack of acceptance ultimately contributed to its short production span, adding to its collectible intrigue today. One of the most distinctive features of the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is its design by Frank Gasparo, which breaks from traditional U.S. coin motifs. The obverse depicts a right-facing portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the first real woman to appear on a circulating U.S. coin, with the inscriptions Liberty and the date. The reverse features an adaptation of the Apollo 11 mission insignia, symbolizing progress and innovation, along with the denomination and United States of America. The coin is struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, giving it a silvery appearance, and measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter, slightly larger than a quarter butt, with a reeded edge to aid differentiation. Even in dirty condition, key details like the sharpness of Anthony's hairline and the eagle's feathers on the reverse can indicate whether the coin retains underlying value. Rarity for the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is relatively low compared to other coins, as the Philadelphia Mint produced over 27 million examples for circulation. However, its value is influenced more by condition than outright scarcity. In very dirty condition, the coin would typically grade at the lower end of the spectrum, likely in the good to fine range, which significantly diminishes its market value. Unlike uncirculated or proof specimens, which can command premiums, a heavily worn or dirty 1980 P dollar is more of a filler piece for collectors assembling a date and mint mark set. That said, errors or unusual die varieties, such as broad strikes or misaligned dies, could still make even a dirty example noteworthy to specialists. Market value for a 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar in very dirty condition is modest, typically ranging from $1 to $3, essentially its face value or slightly above. Unlike pristine examples, which can fetch $5 to $10 in uncirculated grades, a dirty coin lacks the eye appeal that drives higher prices. However, it remains a tangible piece of history, and some collectors appreciate lower-grade examples for their circulated charm. Auction results and dealer listings confirm that these coins rarely sell for significant sums unless they possess an unusual attribute, such as a notable error or exceptional toning beneath the dirt. For most collectors, the 1980 P is an affordable entry point into dollar coin collecting. For those interested in acquiring a 1980 P Susan B. Anthony dollar, even in dirty condition, careful inspection is key. Look for coins where the major design elements, such as Anthony's portrait and the eagle on the reverse, are still clearly visible, as these will have better resale potential. While certification is unnecessary for low-grade examples, purchasing from reputable dealers or coin shows ensures authenticity. Storage should involve protective flips or holders to prevent further deterioration, especially if the dirt conceals underlying toning or detail. Collectors on a budget might find these coins in bulk lots or as part of mixed-date dollar coin collections, offering a cost-effective way to own a piece of U.S. monetary history. The 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar in very dirty condition may not be a high-value numismatic treasure, but it remains an important and accessible piece of U.S. coinage history. Its connection to Susan B. Anthony's legacy and its role in the failed small dollar experiment make it a conversation piece for collectors. While its market value is limited in circulated grades, it serves as a reminder of the challenges the U.S. Mint faced in modernizing dollar coinage. The enduring appeal of the Susan B. Anthony dollar lies in its unique story and its place in the transition toward today's dollar coins. Even in dirty condition, the 1980 P issue carries historical weight, making it a worthwhile addition for those who value context over condition. As interest in modern U.S. coins grows, this humble dollar may see renewed attention, particularly among collectors focused on 20th century currency. Whether as a standalone piece or part of a larger collection, the 1980 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar remains a testament to an ambitious but flawed chapter in American numismatics. And thirdly, we're talking about the most valuable and expensive, the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar holds an important place in U.S. coinage as part of the first series of modern small-sized dollar coins. Although it was not initially welcomed by the public due to its similarity in size and color to the quarter, the coin has since become a favorite among collectors who appreciate its historical role and distinctive design. Today, high-quality examples of the 1979 D carry solid market demand, particularly when they appear in pristine condition or as part of rare era varieties. Even in dirty or circulated states, these coins maintain a collectible appeal because of their numismatic history and the recognition of Susan B. Anthony as the first real woman to appear on a circulating U.S. coin. The introduction of the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979 marked a turning point in U.S. coinage. The Treasury hoped to replace the large Eisenhower dollar with a smaller, more practical version that would be easier to carry and cheaper to produce. The Denver Mint produced millions of these coins, with the D. Mint mark clearly displayed on the obverse. While the public largely rejected the coin for everyday use, its release was culturally significant, as it honored Anthony, a pioneering leader in the women's suffrage movement. In this way, the coin represents not only a monetary reform attempt, but also a symbolic milestone in the recognition of women's contributions to American history. The obverse of the coin features a sharp profile of Susan B. Anthony, designed by Frank Gasparo, surrounded by 13 stars representing the original colonies. The D. Mint mark sits neatly beside Anthony's portrait, identifying its Denver origin. On the reverse, Gasparo adapted the Apollo 11 mission insignia from the Eisenhower dollar, depicting an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, symbolizing peace and America's space achievement. Struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, the coin weighs 8.1 grams and measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter. Its 11-sided inner border makes it distinctive compared to other circulating coins, giving it a unique tactile and visual presence. While the 1979 D was Minted in large numbers, certain factors influence its collectability. High-grade examples with flawless surfaces and strong strikes are significantly rarer than heavily circulated or dirty coins, which are common. Additionally, collectors prize coins with unique errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or weak edge reading, which can increase desirability. Circulated coins, especially those in very dirty or worn condition, typically hold only modest value, but their rarity climbs substantially when certified in Mint State 66 or higher by professional grading services. The scarcity of such high-grade survivors ensures ongoing demand in today's market. A circulated 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar in dirty or worn condition is often worth little more than its face value, typically selling for about $300 to $800. However, certified Mint State examples command significantly higher premiums. A coin graded MS-65 can fetch between $1,000 and $3,000, while superb gems in MS-67 have sold for upwards of $5,000 at auction. Rare error varieties have reached into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on uniqueness and demand. Market trends show steady appreciation for high-end pieces, as collectors seek to complete sets with the finest possible examples. 4. Collectors identifying high-quality examples of the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar requires close attention to luster, strike quality, and surface preservation. Certification by trusted grading companies such as PCGS or NGC can make a major difference in value, especially for coins in mint state or higher. When searching for these coins, reputable dealers, coin shows, and online auctions are the best sources for finding investment-worthy examples. Dirty or circulated pieces should be left as is. Attempting to clean them can permanently damage their surfaces and reduce their collectible worth. Proper storage in a protective holder or slab ensures long-term preservation and prevents further deterioration. Another fascinating aspect of the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar lies in the way it bridges two different eras of American coinage, one rooted in tradition and the other pushing toward modernization. On one hand, the coin carries forward the patriotic themes long seen in U.S. currency, such as the eagle landing on the moon, reinforcing national pride and achievement. On the other, it boldly departs from past practices by placing a woman, Susan B. Anthony, on a circulating coin at a time when no other U.S. denomination had done so. This dual identity gives the 1979 D a special place in collecting circles because it represents both continuity and change. Collectors often highlight this duality when explaining its enduring appeal. Despite being struck in huge numbers and often dismissed in commerce, it remains a coin that challenged cultural norms while attempting to redefine how Americans viewed their everyday money. For those reasons, the 1979 D is far more than a dollar. It is a piece of social and numismatic history that continues to spark discussion and admiration among enthusiasts. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar may not be the rarest or most glamorous coin in U.S. history, but its cultural and historical importance makes it a cornerstone of modern numismatics. From honoring Susan B. Anthony's role in the fight for women's rights to its connection with America's coinage reform, it stands as more than just a dollar. It is a symbol of change. While common examples may carry modest value, high-grade specimens and error varieties elevate the coin into a prized collectible. For both seasoned numismatists and new collectors, the 1979 D remains an accessible yet meaningful piece of history with enduring appeal. And now we're talking about the 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar is a fascinating piece of U.S. numismatic history, particularly when found in a very dirty condition, as its wear and grime tell a story of circulation and neglect that contrasts sharply with its original mint state. While the Susan B. Anthony series is often overlooked due to its short-lived circulation and public disinterest at the time, the 1979 S variety holds a special place among collectors, especially those who appreciate coins with character and historical wear. This coin, struck at the San Francisco Mint, was part of the inaugural year of the Susan B. Anthony dollar series, which aimed to replace the Eisenhower dollar with a smaller, more practical coin. Despite its initial unpopularity, the 1979 S has gained a niche following, particularly in lower grades where it's dirt and where add a layer of authenticity and charm. Collectors today seek it not only for its historical significance, but also for its role in the broader narrative of U.S. coinage experiments during the late 20th century. Historically, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 as the first U.S. coin to honor a real, non-allegorical woman, Susan B. Anthony, a pivotal figure in the women's suffrage movement. The 1979 S was struck at the San Francisco Mint, primarily in proof condition for collectors, but some business strikes were also produced, though these are far less common. The coin's release coincided with a period of inflation and public resistance to dollar coins, leading to poor circulation and eventual hoarding by collectors. The 1979 S, in particular, is notable because it represents the first year of the series and carries the distinction of being minted in San Francisco, a facility known for its high-quality strikes. Despite its initial lack of popularity, the coin's historical context as a tribute to a feminist icon and its role in the U.S. Mint's efforts to modernize currency have since elevated its appeal. The design of the Susan B. Anthony dollar is both simple and symbolic. The obverse features a right-facing portrait of Susan B. Anthony, designed by Frank Gasparo, with the inscriptions Liberty and the year 1979 prominently displayed. The reverse showcases an adaptation of the Apollo 11 mission insignia, a nod to America's space achievements, with a bald eagle landing on the moon. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad outer layer with a pure copper core, giving it a distinctive metallic sheen when new. However, in very dirty conditions, this luster is obscured by grime and oxidation, which can sometimes obscure finer details but also add a unique patina that appeals to collectors of circulated coins. The small size and smooth edge of the coin, intended to distinguish it from quarters, often led to public confusion, a factor that ironically now adds to its collectible intrigue. Rarity for the 1979 S Susan B. Anthony dollar in very dirty condition is somewhat relative. While the San Francisco Mint produced fewer business strikes compared to Philadelphia and Denver, the coin is not exceptionally rare in circulated grades. However, its value lies in its historical significance and the growing interest in lower grade coins that exhibit clear evidence of their journey through commerce. Coins in heavily worn or dirty conditions are often sought by collectors who specialize in problem coins, or those who appreciate the authenticity of a piece that has clearly been used. The 1979 S is particularly interesting because it's dirt and where can sometimes highlight design elements in unexpected ways, creating a unique aesthetic that differs from pristine examples. Market value for a very dirty 1979 S Susan B. Anthony dollar is modest compared to high-grade or proof specimens, typically ranging between $2 and $10, depending on the level of detail remaining beneath the grime. While this may seem low, it's important to note that circulated examples like this are often purchased as filler coins for typesets or as historical artifacts rather than as high-value investments. However, for collectors who focus on the series or on circulated coinage, even a dirty 1979 S can hold sentimental and educational value. Auction results and dealer listings show that such coins are often sold in bulk lots or as part of larger collections, but standalone sales do occur, particularly when the coins where patterns are visually striking or unusual for collectors interested in acquiring a 1979 S Susan B. Anthony dollar in very dirty condition. The key is to examine the coin for remaining details, such as the clarity of Anthony's portrait or the visibility of the eagle on the reverse. Even in dirty coins, these elements can indicate how much where the piece has endured and whether it's worth adding to a collection. Certification is less critical for circulated examples, but purchasing from reputable dealers or numismatic communities can ensure authenticity. Storage should focus on preserving the coin's current state without attempting aggressive cleaning, as this can damage the surfaces and reduce its value. Collectors might also consider pairing the coin with a cleaner example to showcase the contrast between circulated and uncirculated specimens. The 1979 S Susan B. Anthony dollar in very dirty condition is more than just a worn-out coin. It's a piece of history that reflects the challenges and triumphs of its era. Its value may not be monetary in the traditional sense, but its significance, to collectors of circulated coinage or US dollar series, is undeniable. As interest in the Susan B. Anthony series grows, even lower-grade examples like this one will find their place in collections, celebrated for their authenticity and the stories they carry. For both new and experienced numismatists, this coin offers a tangible link to a fascinating chapter in American coinage.